Hello everyone, my name is Devin, also known as DH Artist, and welcome to my video celebrating the 10-year anniversary of Disney Infinity. Now Disney Infinity was released on August 18th of 2013, and to commemorate its 10-year anniversary, fans from all around the world are coming together here on YouTube to share their love for this treasured game. While we're all doing something different to celebrate this occasion, I've chosen to highlight a few pieces from my collection. Before we get started, don't forget to check out my other Disney Infinity videos. You'll find plenty of adventures, as well as several tutorials that you can build on your own. Along with Disney Infinity, be sure to check out my Deep Dive series, where I cover a variety of comic books cover to cover. I've produced over 125 episodes so far, from both Marvel and DC, that span the late 40s to early 90s. And if you've made it this far into my video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Now let's dive into today's video. So I think to start off, I'd like to share my first Disney Infinity figure, Sorcerer Mickey. Now the reason Mickey was my first figure, and why he's inside this protective storage cube, is because he came out a week prior to the game's release, over the weekend of August 9th, 2013, as an exclusive giveaway to attendees at the D23 Expo in Anaheim, California. Here's a look at the bag he came in, along with a little blurb about using him in Toy Box mode. While I didn't attend the expo, I was able to purchase it on eBay from a seller who listed it the same day. And since I live so close, the mail moves pretty quickly between here and California, thus it arrived before the game came out. Now the only difference between this figure and the standard one that released in spring of 2014 is purely cosmetic. The D23 figure has silver designs on his sorcerer's hat, while the standard figure's designs are light blue. Now I'm sure many fans could care less about which figure they have, especially since they both play the same, but I really enjoy the story that this one has, and it speaks to a moment in time when the game first released. Now this next piece I acquired a few years ago, and it was listed as a midnight launch kit. I don't know where exactly they gave these out, but it came in a pretty nifty box. Now I currently use the box to store my playset pieces. But here's a look at the fun items that came with the launch kit. Up first we have this lanyard with the Disney Infinity wordmark on it. Then we've got this thank you card. Next we've got this insert, briefly describing the gameplay mechanics of playing in the playset. Then building in the toy box. And on the back there's a little preview of the additional toys available for purchase. Next we have this minigame mag. Again, it briefly describes the gameplay mechanics. There's also a word scramble, a seek and find game, and a word search. And the last page unfolds as a checklist for the first wave of power discs. Oh, and on the back there's a Wii U ad. And the final item included in the launch kit was this fun Disney Infinity t-shirt, complete with traditional art that was used in the promos leading up to the game's release. And it's a size extra large. Now in 2020, when COVID was raging, I decided I wanted a better way to organize my power discs. Up to this point, I was using those tube storage cases that came in various colors, but since I found it frustrating searching for a specific disc, I decided to try a more organized approach. I picked up some coin collecting sheets on Amazon and 2 jumbo binders from Walmart, making 2 great organizers for power discs. As I worked on this video, I found myself reminiscing of a simpler time. It doesn't seem like it, but a lot has changed in 10 years. I still remember learning about Disney Infinity while on a family trip to Disneyland. It was the spring of 2013, and they had a poster for the game displayed in the Esplanade. Up to that point, I didn't know a thing about the game, but after returning to the hotel and a quick search online, I knew it was going to be something special. In fact, I wasn't home 5 minutes before I rushed to my local GameStop and pre-ordered everything on Xbox 360. Now in 2013, I was fortunate enough to have disposable income, as I had just started working full-time. So when a new character, playset, or power discs released, I didn't have any trouble picking them up. So please understand, I'm not trying to gloat or show off with this video. I really feel for kids today just discovering this game. It's hard enough saving your money, let alone tracking down all of the toys. I was in a very lucky situation. So the last 2 items I've got today are the most prized pieces in my collection. The first is this prototype final stage production sample of Peter Pan. At the Toy Box Summit of 2015, Toy Box artists were given the task of choosing a figure to be made for Disney Infinity 3.0. While the decision was made at the summit, the artist's choice wasn't made public until the D23 Expo later that year. While Peter Pan was confirmed to be arriving during the lifespan of 3.0 rather than for a future game, the game was cancelled before the character could be officially finished. So what this is a final stage production sample, and after doing some research online, this was part of a very limited production run to ensure final quality standards before mass manufacturing. Only 3 of these production prototypes have been seen since December of 2016. While unfinished figures alone have been sold and mass-produced, having him complete in the box is something very special, because we get to see how he would have appeared in stores and what the back of the box looked like. Now recently, modders have found his model, textures, and animation inside Disney Infinity 3.0's files, and if you look on YouTube, he's been almost fully restored in the game, albeit still incomplete, due to him missing effects and voice lines. So while the toy is unplayable, I think it's a great piece of Disney Infinity history. Now finally, the last piece I'd like to share from my collection I actually acquired earlier this year.
Additional characters and content sold separately.
And it's this store-used display screen and kiosk. I'd seen these offered before on eBay, but each time the price was sky high. This one happens to be missing the lighted clear frame that would have surrounded the monitor. Since the game was cancelled in 2016, it obviously shows signs of wear, and who knows what adventures it's been on since.
Additional characters and content sold separately.
But here, I'll show you how it works. So when you first boot it up, you get these two screens. One says power on, and the other says loading. Then it just sits there with a preloaded image of the 1.0 original lineup. Now this was as far as the previous owner had got. They couldn't get it to do anything else. So with my limited knowledge of computers, I saw a couple USB ports on the back and plugged in a keyboard and mouse to see what I could get it to do. To my surprise, I was able to get to an Android type screen that had some preloaded software on it. Now being an Apple user, I'm not too familiar with Android, but I was able to fumble my way around. I got really excited when I saw the Disney logo, but sadly it doesn't load. It's looking for some specific file or network, which must have originally been connected to it in the store. Maybe one day, someone will come across those files. I was still determined to get it to work, so when I found a simple media player on the last row, I quickly saved some trailers to an SD card. And ka-chow, it looks just like it did in stores. Now there is one downside to this awesome piece of history. After about 15 minutes, it shuts off. It just goes black and then reboots, and I have to repeat the process all over again. Now while I can't find anywhere in the settings to get it to stop shutting off, I still think it's really cool. Now in the store, the base acted as a scanner for the figures on display. When kids would take a figure and place it on the pad, a trailer for the figure would play. It was really cool to see in stores. Of course, in the end, I remember my local Toys R Us display just playing the Star Wars 3.0 trailer over and over and over. and since the base was no longer communicating with any special files, I simply plugged it into my Xbox across the room, and it now serves as my playpad. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to check out the other awesome Disney Infinity videos to celebrate this 10-year anniversary event. I'll be adding links to their channels in the video description below. Now if you enjoy these types of videos, please show your support by subscribing to my channel. As always, please consider liking and feel free to share this video. And remember guys, if you can dream it, you can do it. Take care everyone.